Hello, you're watching Bearwood West Yard. Today I'll be bringing you the May 2018 layout update. Just before I start, I hope you're enjoying the warm weather. Even though I'm in the house's coldest room, I'm actually quite warm. So take care and keep a drink close if you're visiting the railway room or the loft. But for now, sit back and enjoy the update. Today I'm going to be starting on the western end of the layout, where the majority of work has been undertaken. Over the past 5 weeks, the papier-mâché hill cutting has rapidly taken shape. It was slow to begin with, but upon restocking glue sticks, the hot glue gun has been back out and on the front line, and turned a slow process into rapid progression. I know in the last update I mentioned about the possibility of getting paint down on the hillsides, but even with the glue gun, that's being held off for a bit longer. I'm sure you've noticed the pine supports behind the tunnel mouth. Those are in place ready to take some sheetwood so I can continue to build up the hill without using silly amounts of cardboard. I had planned to have the MDF sheet ready, but due to a rather silly moment with my breathing mask, I've had to leave that for a bit. So you can see just along here, that's the rate that progress has been going on, and I'm about halfway along the layout in terms of the hillside, the cutting, and that is pretty much it for now on the cutting. I'm not going right up to the station just yet, I need to get that finished first. Moving on to the track work side of the layout, some areas of the main lines still don't have ballast on them, so you can see the cess part of the ballast shoulder still hasn't been put down yet. I'm currently waiting to get paint down on the hillsides first. It just saves getting paint on the ballast and the ballast becoming really unneat and untidy. In terms of the yard, it's been the second most intensive area over the past few weeks. The number of sidings has been cut from 4 to 3 to maximise space for scenery. It's apparent from a few channels that I've been checking out, such as New Junction for an example. You don't need a lot of track to have a good layout, so the key term being less is more, and I've tried to incorporate that on my layout by cutting at least one siding to maximise the amount of scenery that I can have, especially with this being a 2-foot wide board of plywood. I'm not going to get much in, so we've got to cut down some of the track work. It'll definitely be a worthy sacrifice. Pausing now halfway through the yard, the MOD area hasn't had any attention put its way. It's a very minor corner at the moment, with more major projects requiring the work. So all I've done so far on the areas you will have seen in the last update, if you've watched that, I've got the checkpoint box. I've done that, and I had that on the layout in the last update, so feel free to check that out if you haven't already, or if you just want to refresh yourself with what it looked like. It's kind of gone back into being a little bit of a storage area for now, but I will get it tidied up again. I've got a lot going on at the moment in terms of home life, of which you'll find out in the next update. Now, for the most recent development is the eastern sidings. I've brought the points forward by about 18 inches to 2 foot and used my remaining flexi track on the curves, with Hornby set track underneath the bed where it's out of view. So let's get down to the other end of the bed and see how long it is. I'm at the end of the sidings here. You can see the front end of the FEAB intermodal wagon there. So to give an idea of the length of the sidings, let's go back to the points. So passing through the 6-foot length bed, and you can see the back end of the intermodal rake right there. All my intermodal wagons are there, and there's the points. So we're dealing with at least 7.5 foot of siding space, which is the longest on the layout. It might seem a bit excessive to have 7.5 foot sidings when the layout that I have can't really run trains that are that length. However, as you will have seen with the intermodal set, I can't store them without having to break up the formations. The only thing that I can store are the steel rake. So whenever I now go to put the engineers or the intermodal set in the sidings, always put them in the eastern because I can store them all together. I do have to break the formation of the consist when shunting, but I'm currently working out a way so that I can keep them in the same order, because as you know, if you've got long length trains with lots of wagons, they do tend to play up if they're not in a place that they like. So you've just got to keep the consist as close to the same as you can, and that's one of the challenges that I'm facing. But it's not proven to be too difficult. It will be a bit more difficult if I do run longer trains, of which I don't really plan to. So I've kind of got my work cut out there. Right, I've stopped the trains temporarily so that I can show you this. This is something that I've been wanting to install under here for a long time, and you can tell that that's point motor housing. You can see that the point there, it's in one of the most awkward spaces that a model railway could possibly be in. So it's definitely a relief now, as it gives me a lot of ease of operation so that I can just operate it from a lever rather than having to reach under all the time to try and change the points. So that makes it a lot easier, and hopefully I won't ever have to reach under here ever again. I thought I'd end the video with something a little bit different. So here's the shed code plate that I made during the first year of my GCSEs. It's attracted quite a lot of attention online, particularly on Facebook, in a few railway groups. I made it from cast aluminium in the resistant materials course that I was taking, and it was part of a skills project. So we had to know all the theory behind casting. So what better way to know the theory than to do the practical? So I chose 71B because it was the code for Bournemouth Central's motive power depot, of which from filming it's 4.5 miles away, so it's really not far. But 71B also had a series of subsheds. So Hamworthy was one that housed a couple of ex-LSWR B4 locomotives, of which were used at the Port of Poole, and also the one that most people know about, Swanage. The latter is the only relic of 71B that still survives. So for me, as a volunteer locomotive cleaner, the plaque in front of you is more to me than just an area allocation. So there you have it. That's the story behind my shed code plaque, of which I've had a lot of questions on. So thank you very much for watching this video, if you've made it this far, and hopefully I'll see you in the next one. So thank you very much, and see you next time.